And since everybody's here, I'll call this extremely well-attended meeting of the Urbana Public Television Commission to order. Very excited to have everybody here. The first order of business is if you would call the roll.
I'd be happy to. Chair Folk.
Present.
Commissioner Polk.
Here.
Commissioner Mancuso.
Here.
Commissioner Cinder.
Here.
Commissioner Fuller.
Present.
Commissioner Inskeep.
Present.
We have full attendance today.
Does anyone have any modifications that they'd like to propose to the agenda?
If I might, I made a decision to not include policies and procedures revisions under unfinished business because it interlocks with a number of other topics that I thought would be better addressed under staff report. I just wanted to make sure that was acceptable to you.
It's acceptable to me.
Good.
Hearing no other objections or changes, I will move on to approving the minutes from the last meeting. That was on June 14th, 2013.
I move we approve them.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved and will be on the website, I believe. Is that right? Moving on to correspondence. Did we have any correspondence?
There was no correspondence
quarter?
addressed to the UPTV Commission.
Okay. And now on to the staff report.
Thank you. The number one item I suppose that I should report on, the primary item, is that due to the sudden departure of Bill DeJarnette, there's a considerable amount of restructuring that is taking place at the moment with regards to some of the city operations that Bill was involved in. One of those, of course, is us. Jason and I met with Charlie Smythe and Mike Munson shortly after Bill's departure. We have since taken part in a couple of information technologies meetings. The UPTV remains as a part of information technologies, but information technologies has been moved from the finance department to the executive department. So we have moved structurally. We talked with Charlie and Mike about our perceived needs for UPTV in terms of studio space, in terms of additional staff hours for our production staff, and for some strategies that we would propose to fund some of those items. And we are sort of currently waiting to hear back on all of those things. So there are positions that need to be filled, and the situation essentially needs to stabilize before we can move forward with the revisions to Section 9 of the City Code, which we learned last meeting were the ones that needed to be made primarily before any other changes were made. And since Bill DeJarnette was the person in charge of approving those minutes, we are kind of on hold until all the positions are filled and we figure out who now is going to be in charge of approving those changes. So that's where we stand with all of that. Also, the additional information that Chair Folk requested about expenditures from the PEG fund, the people that would have the answers to those are all gone. So we'll have to start over with those. But we'll continue to pursue that as we are able to. We continue to participate in the community marketing and communications meetings that Natalie Kenny Marquez coordinates. I participated in a teleconference arranged by the Alliance for Community Media with a number of media lawyers. Our particular interest was in music copyright, which has been kind of a bugaboo for us in particular and community access television in general. And although nothing really occurred at that meeting, I did manage to get my suggestion that they pursue a blanket agreement with the copyright groups a la PBS and NPR forwarded to the Alliance for Community Media board. So at least we've got some forward motion on that. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but we're doing what we can. Jason and I will be attending the University of Illinois Volunteer Fair next week. We've been going to this for 3 years now, I think, 2 or 3 years. And we have always snagged at least 1 or 2 really good volunteers at this event, so we're looking forward to doing that again as well. Jason has completed his work on a podcast of walking tours, a walking tour of the historic homes of Urbana, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to have Jason next tell you a little bit about his work with youth and students.
We worked with the Teens in Action summer camp of the Urbana Park District. We produced a few just IDs of UPTV. Hi, I'm so-and-so. I go to the Teens in Action summer camp, and you're watching UPTV, as well as a video about the Urbana Park District Foundation that raises money for scholarships for that program and other programs at the Park District. That was a lot of fun. They were in here, I think, 4 hours for 2 days, 1 week, and we produced those. We're continuing our work with Urbana High School journalism class, Miss Ludwig's class. We've already broadcast, I guess it would be 2 football games now and 1 soccer game on UPTV. We'll have another game that we're filming tonight that will be on tomorrow. They're also looking at kind of restructuring their interview and news segment that they did a couple years ago, and they'll hopefully have some footage, just more general, not necessarily just sports, but everything that's going on at Urbana High School along those lines. We also received a grant from Champaign-Urbana Area Project and Chicago Area Project with the help of Virgil Hawkins. This was a program where we were able to connect with at-risk area youth and have one of the youths come in and work 20 hours a week and get paid through this grant throughout the summer for his work at UPTV. So we participated in that as well, and that was a huge help. You'll notice once we get to the clips reel, Ellis Woodland, who's worked with us on a number of different projects over the years, filmed most of the Sweet Corn Festival performances on the Community Gather stage, brought that back here and edited that himself. He filmed the Champaign-Urbana singer-songwriter and edited that as well. So there's a number of different projects that we were able to have him help with.
Yeah, Ellis has been a great addition to having him just around up here doing things like that. In addition, a team that was headed up by Marie Polk and Jason put together what I think was the best yet program around the Champaign County Freedom Celebration and the 4th of July Parade, and I want to particularly thank Commissioner Polk for her efforts in that. It was really good.
Thank you.
We have added still another commission to our broadcast schedule, and that is the Urbana Free Library Board. And we've had, especially at the beginning, a great deal of viewer interest in those presentations. As Jason mentioned, we were out at Sweet Corn recording almost the entire day at the One Community Together stage. The first of those broadcasts will be tomorrow at noon. And the Champaign-Urbana Singer-Songwriter Festival performances will be scattered around the schedule as well. Jason went out and recorded the press conference inaugurating the new bicycle map for the city of Urbana for the first anniversary of the Learman Gardens, that celebration. And just this week completed a feature on Public Works' winning of the snow rodeo statewide, right? A team from Public Works, so we'll have a feature about that on the air beginning tonight, I think. In community producer news, we had an interesting development. Dr. Zachariah, who has been producing a number of programs on UPTV, in particular one called Breaking News in Wellness and Health, wanted to know if we would be able to schedule a regular broadcast that would be at a good viewing time for viewers in India and East Asia. And as it turns out, 4:30 in the morning here, which is not a high viewership time for Americans, is a perfect afternoon viewing time in India. So nursing students in India are now watching Urbana Public Television via the internet, live streamed, which is mind-blowing when you think about it. So we want to thank Dr. Zachariah for that. In terms of other news strips, the Deutsche Welle news programs that I'd been airing from 5 to 6 in the evenings take a hiatus every summer, and I used that opportunity to sort of test out a rebroadcast of our hour-long news program, Democracy Now!, at 5 o'clock, and that's worked out really well. So the DW programs will move to other locations around the schedule, and as of now, from 5 to 6 every evening, we have national and international news and a rebroadcast of Democracy Now! We did continue to run some concerts from Deutsche Welle over the summer that included Robert Plant from Led Zepp, Sinead O'Connor, Jethro Tull, Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits, and Ray Davies from the Kinks. I was very proud that we had those programs on. We continue to record the Friday Forum lectures. Volunteers do at the YMCA on campus. We have a new volunteer named Anna Applebaum who's recorded a series of 1.5 and 2 hour specials, which you'll be seeing airing. We did a very interesting and informative League of Women Voters meeting presenting a program on the fiscal crisis in Illinois, and we ran that a number of times. It was very pertinent. We continue our collaborations with the radio stations, the community radio stations in town, WRFU and WEFT, with adding a program called Health and Soulful Being, which is done by a woman named Renee Angela. That's heard on Sunday evenings. And a new sort of entertainment radio program called Mr. Sensation that focuses on local music and events. We have a local zombie movie that's been produced that we're running, and a number of music videos. And because of a question that Commissioner Mancuso asked at the last meeting, I asked Jason if he would take a few minutes and sort of give you a tour of our electronic facilities as far as our website and our social media activity go. So take it away.
Yeah, so we are still using the Drupal content management system, working with the community media Drupal group with different community access centers, and this is where this came from, urbanapublictelevision.org. That's our main site. I think I've shown you all this before, but you can go there and kind of look through things. One thing that I want to point out on this, obviously there's community blog posts from our producers kind of getting involved with our web presence, but also our Twitter feed. I've had a number of people, I say, hey, you ought to follow us on Twitter. They say, hey, I don't do Twitter. It's actually embedded in our website. And we, 3 or 4 tweets a day or so. Kind of depends on our schedule and what we're airing. But just, what's coming up on UPTV, what we're doing, that's kind of a good way to stay in tune with that. And I'll kind of go to our Twitter page. We have 202 followers. And it usually, you don't get on Twitter, oh, this many people saw your tweet or anything like that. But most of the time, some of our most popular retweets and favorites come from when we mention the Urbana High School or Urbana School District. We're broadcasting a football game tonight or anything like that, as well as the Urbana Public Arts Program. And that tends to hold stake as well with Facebook. Some of our most popular posts on our Facebook page have been with the Urbana Public Arts Program. Also, anytime we mention Michael Badger of Newsview, it gets a lot of hits. And I think one of our more popular hits was from a popular city council meeting in June, and I think it said, 240 people or so viewed that, but that kind of fluctuates back and forth. We have 390 likes on Facebook, and we'll post, maybe 1-2 things a day. It kind of varies, again, with our schedule, what's going on, what's popular at the time. We also utilize YouTube for hosting a lot of our public access programs, but also some of our government access programs that we, not necessarily the meetings, but some of the specials that we've produced. Looking at our most popular videos, See You Sharing the Road, which is our award-winning bicycle education video from a couple years ago. That's at 2,328 views and, holding strong. I don't see anyone knocking that off at the moment. Some UC2B spots that we produced through something I filmed on campus about the early beginnings of UC2B, that still remains pretty popular. People can go there and get information about UC2B, and that's probably a little bit outdated now, but people watched it originally. Champaign-Urbana Safe Routes to School project, that's another bicycle education video that we filmed is popular. We do upload a lot of WEF sessions, which is a show that we partner with WEFT with, music show, and all those tend to be fairly popular in their viewership as well. And you can kind of, anyone can go to YouTube. You don't have to not necessarily be logged into our account and kind of go through and, see which ones has the most views and everything like that. But we upload a number of programs to our YouTube site there. Moving on to our live stream, you can live stream us at urbanapublictelevision.org/live stream. We haven't seen, a tremendous amount of people watching the stream. I mentioned the June 17th council meeting. That actually had 48 simultaneous viewers of that meeting online live. That is by far more than any other thing. That I think the next best thing was 9 viewers. So we saw a lot of viewership online for the June 17th meeting. But that's kind of just gives you the basics of where we're at online and what we're doing. I don't know if anyone has any questions or any specific requests or anything.
Is all locally produced content on this website?
No. But when you say this website, do you mean our YouTube or on
the Urbana Public Television?
Yeah, so we don't host any locally produced public access shows. Locally produced public access shows are, if we do host them anywhere, they're hosted through our YouTube page. The government access meetings and everything's hosted on the city's website. If you go into the city meetings, they're embedded right on that page. Other things that we do, such as, market menu, you could probably go to the markets page on the city site and see that. We also upload that to YouTube. Cops Corner, we have a special page for Cops Corner on the city site. Art Now, we have a special page on the city site. And those are also on YouTube. But if it's public access, it's not hosted on the city site, it's hosted on our YouTube channel.
Okay, so I hear in that you don't plan to have those shows on here. Is that correct?
I would love to have those shows on. When you say here, I assume you mean urbanapublictelevision.org.
Right.
That was kind of the idea through the initial open media project back in 2008, and still something that UPTV is interested in, actually hosting the videos themselves with their own servers and putting them on the site. None of the other community access stations that are involved in the project are interested in that at all. They don't have server space. They're doing something else through Vimeo, or they subscribe to a service like Telview or any one of those number of options. And I simply don't have time to, anything that you see on this site generally is volunteered by myself or Kevin Reinen. Very little is paid work. So
Okay.
it is what it is. I hope we have time to improve it, but as it looks right now, we don't currently have time. But yeah, that would be the ideal situation, is that they're actually hosted on urbanapublictelevision.org.
Okay.
There is a link, of course. If I go to watch now on urbanapublictelevision.org, I can go to our YouTube channel right here. Or if I go to, video on demand, it kind of divides it up. We have an education access page that has a number of our government access page that I can go to on the city site, or our YouTube channel.
Okay.
And we also have a very static presentation on LinkedIn, which I guess is the other social medium that we use. Do you have any questions on anything we've presented so far? If not, we have a clip of a reel of clips we'd like to share with you.
Good evening. I'm Stanley Godia, and this is Ricardo Vargas. Ricardo?
Thank you, Stanley. Well, one of the area's top receivers, Tanner Russell, he's still here for the Tigers. He's a senior this year, and he's going to try to help the Tigers win this game. But their running back, their great running back, Kenny Patton, will not play today because he is injured. And now that star quarterback Cameron Mammon left to play in college, sophomore Alex Beckman looks to take his place in tonight's game. The Tigers also lost many great linemen like Tanner, Lasnik, and Josh. But they still have Cedric Fry, and he has great size and mobility.
Yeah, he's a great player, powerful guy. Well, it looks like the fans are here, ready to watch the game. The players are ready. Ricardo, what do you expect tonight in tonight's game?
Well, I expect a great game, Stan.
That's very nice. Well, you're watching Urbana Public Television. This is UHS Broadcasting. and we'll see you after this short break.
Hey, it's great to see a nice crowd here this afternoon. In your garden, this is your garden. You guys in this neighborhood and all the support teams that have built this over the months know what work has gone in to make this plot of land transform in just about a year's time from basically a kind of a grassy desert land to one of the most important parts of this entire neighborhood.
Everyone's a stranger, searching for familiar names. You want a new beginning, what the corporation claims.
On the next News View.
This week I have a special guest, Diane Ducey from Stevie J Broadcasting, and a weather forecast for your weekend.
News View, Friday night at 9 p.m. on UPTV 6.
Your turn. I'm not messing with them. Are you crazy? They're chained and everything. They're not going to hurt you, kid. I'm not doing it. What are you doing? You gotta kill him. I said no! You gotta learn, kid. You gotta learn right now. Kid! Kill him!
We have a couple of other of our sponsors here. Tim, would you like to step up? We have Tim Bartlett from the Urbana Park District.
Hi, we're just really glad to be here today and to support this awesome new map and this new plan. The Park District is always hearing from our public about how do we get to and from all of the great parks in Urbana. So we think that this route map will help people find their way at their comfort level. There's a variety of intensities, from very, very easy to, along major routes. So again, we think it's a great wayfinding tool, and we're just really excited to be a part of this.
Good morning and welcome to Freedom Celebration 2013. I'm Josh Laskowski from CVJ Broadcasting.
And my name is Marie Polk. It is the 64th annual Champaign County Freedom Celebration, and we are on location at the University of Illinois. It is absolutely beautiful today.
After all the rain we've had this summer.
I know.
It is so nice in Champaign County today and gearing up for what's going to be a very exciting day.
Yes, what a wonderful way to start the summer.
And some men sell for gold, but a loving heart, the wind and sun, these things cannot be bought or sold. There's mud on the high ground, honey. There's mud on the high ground, dear. So take my hand, we'll find a place to stand, and step by step we'll make it out of here.
I can apply, like you said, you're applying the metaphysics studies to your everyday life.
How it really began was when I started at the School of Metaphysics, I had ADD really bad. And we started learning the skill of concentration. And so the place where I could begin to apply what I was learning was concentrating. And so I would actively practice while I was cutting up vegetables or something like that, of being fully present, fully mindful of what I was doing with the food.
What is your name and how are you going to change the world?
My name is Devontae, and I plan on changing the world through new ideas and creativity of art.
My name's Sean, and I'm changing the world, and I'm going to change the world by helping the community out.
My name is Tyree Joshua, and I plan on helping young kids learn to dance and gymnastics and martial art.
My name is Oasis Lewis, and I'm going to change the world by going to the military and fighting for my country.
This is Mr. Sensation on your TV station, UPTV, and I'm here with Dr. David Adcock, and he is the lead singer of the Painkillers.
The Painkillers, that's us, and I do sing, I guess.
Yes, you do sing. You've been singing, and I've been checking you out already. I've been knowing he's already been singing a long time. But anyway, Dr. Adcock, what actually got you started in wanting to do some music?
Oh man, that's a really good question there, Mr. Sensation. I don't know. My boys gave me a tape and a harmonica and a book that was called Blues. Let's see, Blues Harmonica for the Musical Idiot. And I thought, oh man, that fits. So that's how I actually got started in the harmonica. I've been singing for years and years. When I grew up through the church and stuff like that, always enjoyed singing.
Hi, I'm Hannah Davis. I attend the Urbana Park District Teens in Action Summer Camp, and you're watching UPTV.
Really great quarter. You guys hit it out of the park again. Very cool. And I have to agree, that was a great Freedom Celebration clip. Really got some good characters. Both of you, I think you were doing very well there. Anything else in the staff report?
No, that's it, unless you have any other questions.
I guess we move on to audience participation. We do have someone in the audience that I think will probably want to address the question.
We need to do a little equipment moving around here for a second. So.
My name is Carol McCusick. I'm at 1907 North Cunningham Avenue. So I've been noticing some more about how what they have to do when they're video recording in the room upstairs, because if you have to switch the, I guess I've been noticing maybe a limitation of the room upstairs in that it's very conducive to informality. Not that I didn't notice them not doing a good job, but if you want to move the camera to the person speaking, it's going to be helpful if the chair has it run kind of formally. This is not what I expected. Or maybe it was. I thought I would show at the Urbana City site. and I'm not sure it's at the Urbana Public Television webpage, but if you key in the words of Urbana Public TV Commission in the general search engine for the whole city, I think you get the ordinance, which is not in Jake was mentioning. I thought he said chapter, code chapter 9 was what you were going to be building your policies and procedures into, and it seemed like it was in chapter 24 of the city code that the ordinance that made the Public Television Commission is in. So I'll have to ask him again at the end of my comment, what was it that he's talking about, or did I hear wrong about policies and procedures work by since Bill Desjardins has gone in going to chapter 9 of the city code. I looked at the web page for the Urbana Public Television Commission this morning, and I noticed that you have 6 commissioners now, and you don't have them identified as the the constituencies they represent, and that's part of the ordinance. If I can get the search engine to work, that what the makeup of the commission is. So if people want to apply for the openings that are on the commission, they don't know, what they. No, where was I? Here. Maybe I'll try UPTV Commission.
Carol, you have a B at the end of your search there.
Thank you.
And you have about 2 more minutes.
Thank you. So I hit enter. Okay, here we go. So maybe that wasn't how I figured out that the place place in the city code where maybe I went to government. I don't know how I found out which part of the city code, but I found out that it was Urbana City Code. It was in the chapter 24 utilities, and it's probably it would be this, I would think. Okay, here it is. So this is 24-152 has the composition for it. So what I'm thinking is, I've been suggesting for all the commissions that they have a way to have with the agenda the people, the ordinance that formed the commission, like as boilerplate that's in the agenda, kind of like embedded in the agenda, and then as you go into any given meeting, okay, you have to publish the agenda for the Illinois Open Meetings Act. Well, you'd have the people who are on the commission now and what they correspond to in the, in the ordinance, in the way it's supposed to be. So, I mean, I'm guessing, but I think that Dale Cinder and Peter Folk are cable commissioners, And Marie, let's see. Do you represent a thing in this? Let's see. Are you perhaps a...
I'm a community producer.
That's the first item, chosen among the members in good standing of the Urbana Public Television. So, and I would guess that Chris Fuller is was nominated by the USD 116 board. And
I'm with the Park District.
And the library is represented to my
so,
left.
And so, okay, that's it. That takes care of that, I guess. So that would work. See, I think that might work for all the commissions. And how I was going to ask, how have you been? Have you been counting quorum as a majority of the number there's supposed to be, regardless of whether you have all 9 slots filled? How have you been doing that?
I believe quorum is in the way we've been doing it has been a majority of the members of the commission, not a majority of the total of the 9. That they're in other words, the empty slots are not counted, are not considered necessary to be filled prior to counting the quorum. You are out of time, but it was an interesting review of our composition, and it, yeah.
I think the idea of appending constituencies to commissioners' names has merit, and I can pursue that with the city clerk and the people that do the website design. And to clarify the issue, perhaps I used the word code. If I did, I misspoke. The Section 9 that I was referring to is in the City of Urbana Policies and Procedures Manual, which is different from the city code. And I don't believe is available on the public website. It's an internal document.
And again, recapping the issue there, it was related to the number of members present versus number of members appointed with regard to changing the rules. Is that?
That was the Cable Commission.
That's the Cable Commission.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, this is simply this needed to be done by the head of finance while we were in the Department of Finance. Now that we're not in the Department of Finance, I have to secure another legal opinion as to who is the ultimate authority over us at the moment.
Okay.
In addition to noting the constituency of the members on the web page, it might also be useful to note the open positions and perhaps even include a link to an application form.
I'll pursue that as well. And term lengths should also be included as well. Yeah, some of them are. Yeah, some of them are and some of them aren't.
And I'll take this opportunity to tell our audience that if they would like to be a member of this commission, there are 2 seats open, and they would have the extra bonus of being on the Cable Commission, the most exciting commission of all of the Champaign-Urbana commissions, in my humble opinion. So I highly recommend going to the city website and searching for probably Cable Commission application or something like that. We'll get you there, or UPTV Commission application.
Mm-hmm. Or they can call 384-2452 and we'll help them out.
That's right. Very low time commitment. Really interesting topics of discussion. I'll recognize you for at most 30 seconds.
Well, you were saying there were 2 positions open, and I saw 6 people at the commission page.
I believe there must be 3 positions open, but I don't know how that count comes.
So there is a cable commissioner position open, and there is an Urbana at-large resident position open, And the third member that she is referring to, and also would be a member of the Cable Commission, is a city council representative. I'm not too sure where that stands, but I don't think on either city, Champaign or Urbana, that they have a council representative at the time.
Moving on to unfinished business. Do we have anything that we're currently classifying under unfinished business? Okay, and then on to new business.
So under equipment purchases, on the backside of your agenda, you will notice all the items that we've purchased here. A couple items of note: we purchased another hard drive camera up at the top, the Canon M500 camera. This is used for a number of our public access shows when people come and check out a camera. We've also used that, I think, for a government access show or two, as well as one of the football games. That just gives us another camera that, we needed another camera, and there it is. Another maybe item note, some of this stuff is just, supplies as far as the DVD cases and DVDs. You'll notice some HDMI cables with a signal booster on it. We're running some new HDMI cabling in the council chambers, so that's what that's for. The Audio-Technica broadcast headsets, those are new headsets for sports commentary, or commentary in general, but we're using them for the Urbana High School games, and we have 3 of those. Any questions?
And our only other item of new business, as far as I am aware of, is the annual membership meeting is scheduled for the first Saturday of December, 12 noon here in the City Council chambers. Each one that I've been to has been interesting uniquely and intrinsically, and it's always a good time for our members to get together, meet each other, and talk a little bit about what it is that draws us all to this place. And I would certainly encourage all of the commissioners to be able to attend if you can. So.
All right, and moving on to commissioners' comments.
I'd just like to mention that, unfortunately, if all goes well, I will not be able to attend that meeting because I will be in Hawaii.
We will be moving the venue of the meeting.
Any other comments? Okay, our next meeting is scheduled for December 13th at 12 noon on this channel and in this venue, which is the Urbana City Council chambers, if you'd like to come by and express your opinion. I think we'll probably look forward to another great highlight reel and maybe some more boring stuff about rules and regulations. All right. The other meetings for 2014, I guess the dates have been set as March 14th, June 13th, and September 12th. So that's all we got. And I guess I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Good. That's it. See you guys in a quarter.
Thank you.